Live.
Whoops, you just knocked over your shoes. Grand Rising, everybody. Happy Tuesday. This is Rise Up Breathwork with Matt Thomson, and boy, do I need this more than ever. I've had a wild morning with some car trouble and moving and shaking and changing all my plans, but alas, I did remember to breathe. I was actually using my breath work with the car, Matt. I would put it in neutral, and every opportunity that I had to coast, I would just go, we got this, baby. We got this, baby. And then, so me and my car this morning engaged in some serious breath work, like seriously. There was a lot of chaos. There was a guy on a bike, and he was acting really erratically, and you know how things, it's always like, it's like the energy, right?
Yeah.
Like when it rains, it pours. So we come together here online and stream this podcast for you so that we can remind everybody that you're going to be in situations sometimes that you do not often expect might be happening. And I'm just so grateful it didn't happen last night on my way home from Providence at 2 a.m., right? So I went back to gratitude. Like, oh, thankfully, I'm 15 minutes away from home. I'm just going to turn the car around, right? Take a breath. Instead of what I used to do, which was stress way the heck out and get shaky. Instead, I started breathing and I just like dealt with it. So again, when you start practicing breath work, all of a sudden when you're in real life situations, you're like, wait a minute, I know how to handle this. My nervous system knows what to do. Everything's going to be fine. So thank you, Matt, for bringing these healing modalities to us. I just wanted to let you know this week, my husband and Tracy Powell, my awesome friend, who's also a photographer, they're going to be doing a punk rock set this weekend, I think. It's going to be rock and roll this week. Yeah.
But we're going to be in Maine.
Well, we're going to be in Maine, but you guys, you know, we do stream our Soul Saturday service on Twitch TV. So while we are in Maine, we can be listening, right? If you're mowing your lawn, you can tap in. If you're doing the laundry. So usually Soul Saturday has been like reggae or house music or kind of like pop and hip hop, but my husband, he's an old school punk rocker.
Yeah, I like the punk and the rock, so I would definitely be more into that.
Nice.
I love the reggae too, but I'm not too much into the house music.
Yeah.
So like for me, that would be like all in.
Well, my husband did donate
but I think it's nice to offer something different too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're all about really here. We're trying to be super inclusive, and my husband did donate his entire record collection to the church, and actually Jamie just did some dumpster diving and found a bunch of old 45s that he's about to donate to the church too. And he said it's like everything from Dolly Parton to some Metallica. Awesome. So again, we are just lovers of energy, vibration, and frequency. And what I think is so cool about music is like I choose the music to match my vibe. Or like, you know, if you're like going through a breakup, what do? You put on that sad song, you know. And if you're like I gotta get this day slayed, it's like, we will rock you. You know what I mean? Like, I always love just kind of matching the music to the intention of, like, what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So, you know, the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers has actually made a religion out of raising the vibration with music. And, you know, I actually am pretty fascinated with the process of even how vinyl records are made.
Yeah.
You know, like they are inspected and they're hand signed. And so, I think we should have a workshop on a Friday night just about vinyl records and how they're actually made. Yeah. Because that's, like, it is, I guess, like it's a vinyl, so it is sort of a polyplastic. So as I do say plastic is against our religion, that does exclude vinyl records.
I think, too, like I'm covering for someone doing some teen stuff this week. And so I brought in like the bowls and stuff, and like some of them were like okay, you know, they like it because it's like a part of what the other person does, and then but a lot of them were just kind of like not really into it, and so I kind of sat there for a minute. And I was like, and then thankfully I had my speaker in the car, so I went out and I was like, well, you guys like music, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, what if we don't do this? And I'll play you some music. So I came in with a heavier tone of stuff that had positive message in the music. So I played like a song, and I was like, what I would offer to you is to focus in on the words and see what you pick up. And this is like 13 to 18-year-olds. And that was like, you know, I think sometimes for the younger kids, this might be, they're not getting that because they're just so lost and so disconnected. and they want something I think that relates a little bit more to like where they're at or what their life is about.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I did that, like the response was much different.
Yeah.
Like they were like, that was awesome, you
Right.
know. And here I am, and even the people who work there and run the place, like never met me before,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Well, come in and listen to how the kids are responding," because they were listening to the words and they were like, "Oh my God!" They're like, "That's so powerful," and they had never like thought about that. So I think, like, you know, particularly like who are we working with, or who do you have in the house, or you know, like the different
read
avenues.
the room.
Yeah, read the room, and like and there's so many different ways of, you know, because sometimes like, yeah, this can be super relaxing, right? But
to
sometimes
other people, it could be.
but sometimes like something heavy can also be like super relaxing, and that's why even like my addiction, like with like cocaine, was like when I was first going through rehab, like way long time ago. You know, I was like, people were like, how do you feel on it? I'm like, relaxed. They're like, what? And because my system was always up here, and it actually helped bring me down in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. You never know.
Well, this is why we ebb and flow, and why we say we're polysacrament, right? Because music is my sacrament, you know, and the music can change from day to day. The seasons change, the environment changes, your condition inside internally, your emotions, your traumas, you know, the joys that you experience, they all influence, you know, what you need. And this is why I don't believe in a one pill fits all society, because those pills don't change, right? Like they stay the same, but how could that be your medicine if you're constantly changing?
Exactly.
So this is why we at the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers are really, you know, defending plant medicine, and we're right as humans to scoop up and forage and grow and honor with clean water and clean soil, you know, what we can take with permission, you know, from Mother Earth and make medicine is like so empowering. And you know, we trust that Mother Earth has everything that we need. And I mean, of course, doctors have their place, and you know, obviously, you know, sometimes you do have to tap into going to the hospital, but my goal is to stay as far away from them as possible, because I kind of equate them with prisons. Like, honestly, my husband worked in a hospital, and I would see the doors open and the fluorescent light alone, just the environment of a hospital with the fluorescent lights and the sterility. Like, I am just not a human that feels safe there. And I know maybe other people do, but I don't really feel safe in hospitals. So I do everything that I can to avoid it, such as yoga, meditation, sauna. You know, as we grow and this community grows, we are hoping that the benefits of membership will also grow. And we have a dream to have a healing space, which will also be a ceremony space where we can have our weddings, we can have our funerals, we can have our fundraisers. But then in the back, we will have a salt cave, we will have an amethyst cave, we will honor the elements, we will honor the seasons, and we will have spaces for people to come for healing on a weekly or daily basis, instead of waiting for when you're sick, right? So it's like your body gets into a state of dis-ease when you don't consistently do the work and take care of yourself, right? So what we're promoting here is not like anything in particular, because of the fact that you have to decide for yourself what is appropriate for you. So we're here to sort of support you and kind of open up your mind to some ideas of ways that you can take your power back, right?
Exactly. Because like I think your situation this morning is like really like in line with that, because you could have gone down the old you road and become angry.
Freaked out.
So let's just say your body was on the verge of getting sick, like the kids brought something home, and you could feel something very lightly coming in. And if you went down that old version of like anger and cursing and why me and this is bullshit, I got to get over here, now I got to deal with this, and now the body's becoming agitated, it's becoming stressed, and then in that state, maybe it would bring on the cold, and it might turn into something full blown.
Yeah, lower.
Because now the body is matching that that lower vibration, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then, but you didn't go down that road,
right?
And so I think like that message is like really important, because it's like we have things that happen to us every day, and some are good, and some can be viewed as like a potential stressor. And so, what if we just looked at everything that happens to us as this beautiful gift? Maybe that stopped you from getting in a serious car accident.
Right.
Maybe there was something else that it prevented, or maybe it just offered a chance to show yourself that you're growing. Because you came in, you're like realizing, like, wow,
I could have been on my way to Maine. I could have had my kids
different.
in the car. I could have.
So you were finding that gratitude,
Yeah.
And I think it's a hard thing because we're so used to reacting with stuff that's not going our way.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's actually a gift?
Right.
And are we willing, or do we have the desire to maybe try to see the gifts in everything, regardless of what it is, if it's something that is stress?
Yeah. I also just want to send some love out. My husband's uncle passed away on Mother's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really wild, Matt. We were actually, it was the evening, and we were saying goodbye to his 86-year-old mother, my mother-in-law, Margaret, who's amazing, who was a nurse. When she worked, she was expressing her concern that it was nearing the end of his life, and I had offered, I was like, maybe we should go visit and check in on him this week. Well, it turns out he was actually passing as we were speaking about him, so I would like to just say, Paul, safe passage, and I know he was suffering a lot, and I'm really happy for his wife, Peggy, and for, Paul, that he's no longer suffering. So if any of my family is listening, I'm just honoring and saying goodbye to him, because I won't be able to make it to the services on Friday as I will be in Maine, but I will be there in spirit. And Paul is such an amazing human, and it's always so hard when you do see someone in your community or in your family, pass on to the next level. But, again, I think ending suffering is the beauty in that. So just wanted to take a little moment to honor Paul. So today, Matt, I see you have all of these bowls set up and you have the gong out. So I'm very excited because I'm needing the frequency right now. So I'm going to go get a yoga mat.
Okay.
And I'm going to go chill out. And I hope everybody can enjoy the sounds. I hope it sounds good out there for you all.
Yeah, so while Sandy's getting comfortable, I'm just going to invite you just to become comfortable. Do whatever it is that you need to do for yourself. And just let the sound for a minute just kind of do its thing. Invitation here to breathe in the sounds into your system, into your body. No identification is needed. If you're at home listening to this, an invitation maybe to put headphones on and bring this a little bit more alive for you. A reminder, if you would like to come down and experience this live, I'll have my Wednesday evening session tomorrow. And as you're breathing in the sounds into the body, the invitation is just to tap into that breath. And allow for the breath to bring the vibration, the frequency, the sound of the instruments, my voice. Maybe allowing for it to travel throughout our system. Breathing out any heaviness, maybe pushing